And now for our Toastmasters International panel discussion. Please help me welcome on stage our moderator for this morning's educational session, the Tatak Rekoleto Mall Exhibit Chair, Alumni PRO, and Toastmaster. Give it up for Engineer and Toastmaster, our residence Boy Archie.
Wala ba kayo mga kamay dyan? Louder, louder, louder. Alright, may encourage those from the individual booths. Kung meron kayong mga, Tagalog man ko. If you have visitors, please encourage them to occupy the seats in front because we have a very mind-boggling and very intriguing discussion this morning about Toastmasters. Who knows about Toastmasters here? Wale. Okay, so let me introduce our distinguished panel of panelists, panel of guests. Alright? Parang nagkakuan ako sa akong pagka-Toastmaster. I haven't been doing this for the longest time. So, I'm gonna be introducing them to you one by one, starting off with the queen of all queens, right? We call her our district director. District director, she does not direct movies, but she directs and demands clubs from the District 75 Philippines, all right? So, wait, let me do my código here. And yeah. In showtime, this is like a lull moment. So we've been texting and messaging this morning, so pasensya na po. Okay. Our district director, distinguished guest, is a Johnson & Johnson Global Content Strategy Senior Manager. And she has been, and wait for this, in Toastmasters for 22 years. If you are 21 years old and below, hindi pa kayo pinanganak, she's already been a Toastmaster. And her one-word description of Toastmasters is empowering. Give it up for distinguished Toastmaster, Jazz Encarnacion. Mayong odto daw sa inyong tanan. Her mic isn't working, guys, so please adjust. All right, the next in line, the top honcho and macho of Toastmasters. And by the way, our district director is single because we're in Cebu, it's single, but in Bisaya, it's single. All right. So, the guy next in line is what we call the Program Quality Director or PQD. What is PQD? Bahala na siya nga mo describe. Iyan yung trabaho ron. Alright? Where did you give me your reply? That's why they're here, because they're going to invite you and encourage you to become Toastmasters. And then they will also describe what Toastmasters is all about. Okay, I cannot find his description. He was a previous flight or cabin crew. Owing to his height is might, because if you are like a little bit vertically challenged, you cannot go up the, what do you call that? The cabin, the luggage compartment to reach out for your luggage. And also, he is single. He's from Davao, our program quality director. Please give a round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster Nino Sepulveda.
Maghapon sa tanan.
O, Bisaya na siya. Gikan na siya sa Samal. And his one-word description of, well, actually it's two-word. Pero hyphenated man, sige, one word na lang. One-word description for Toastmasters is life-changing. Wow, very mind-boggling. All right, our next person or next guy in line is somebody who is Bisaya, no? As you can see, our top director or top officer of District 75 is from Manila. The second in line is from Luzon, is from Mindanao. And the third guy in line is from Cebu, Bisaya, Sandako. He is the general manager of Savoy Hotel. Take note, Savoy Hotel. So later on, because we're friends, you might want to ask me an overnight stay at Savoy Hotel. He's giving it for free. Five slots if you ask questions. Overnight stay at the Savoy lobby, all right? And he is our club growth director, also single. Please give a round of applause, and the family name is very familiar. Somewhere over here, over there. Please give a round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster Joseph Chongbian.
Mayong hapon. Mayong hapon. Thank you.
And his one-word description of Toastmasters, it's okay to sir, limot man ko. Fulfilling. Oh. See, he's already been fulfilled. All right, now, you see our two beauties here? They are not the muses, but they are also occupying very distinguished positions in Toastmasters. And one of them is what we call this division director of Division C, which covers Cebu City and part of the south of Cebu. And she has been a Toastmaster since she was born. She's an HR practitioner. She can psycho you, so if you don't ask questions, you know why you're not asking questions. And, well, she's been in Toastmasters and enjoying it. And her one-word description for Toastmasters is passionate. Passion, no passion. See, he's so fashionista. Give a round of applause to Joy Villaroman, Division C Director.
Oh, my adlaw.
Pastor Fide Villaroman. Which one? Pastor Fide Villaroman? Villaroman, Pastor Fide. All right, all right. And the last lady is from Mindanao, actually in Davao, but she has relocated to Albay. Okay, you know, you have the Mayon volcano of the famous lava walk of our Miss Universe. And she's also a beauty queen herself. Can't you not determine or distinguish? She is our Division I Director, which covers mostly part of North Cebu. And, well, because she's not single anymore, she's married, all right? So I will repeat that just in case you're interested. Married, single, 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 married. All right, give a round of applause to the distinguished Toastmaster, Judy Gay Carre.
Maingod to.
All right, happy to get ito atong paniod to. Narabili sa paniod tong lesson. We'll go over time a little bit. So, we'll play the first video for you to just give an overview of what Toastmasters is all about. Maestro.
Toastmasters International is a non-profit organization that has helped millions around the globe build confidence with public speaking. Since 1924, our Learn by Doing program will give you improved communication, public speaking, and leadership skills, all while building confidence for you.
All right, J-Lord,
Next big
as much as we
presentation.
have some technical difficulties, we might as well
Whether
not run the video anymore. I can send you links of the video. So at this point, because we are not here to view videos, but to listen to these people speak, I'd like to first rattle off the things that we have to do or discuss this morning by giving a chance to our District Director, Jazz Encarnacion, to give us a very quick summary or a quick overview of what Toastmasters are all about. So, Jazz? Oh, you can stay there. Yeah. Be comfortable. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Jazz, and I'm the District 75 Director. We're here to tell you more about the awesome world of Toastmasters. Toastmasters International is a non-profit educational organization that helps individuals to develop our communication and leadership skills. As mentioned by PDD Boy earlier, I've been in the organization for more than 20 years. And the Toastmasters organization worldwide is composed of 280,000 members from 144 countries and from 14,700 clubs. So as you can see, we have a global or worldwide network of clubs. And I'm here with my team to tell you more about what we have here in the Philippines. So with that, I'd like to introduce our Club Growth Director to share more information about Toastmasters here in the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Jazz.
But before that, Toastmaster Joseph, we can probably start off with a very intriguing question. What is actually your job as Club Growth Director? And then you start from there.
Great, thank you so much, Didi Boy. Didi Boy, maayong hapon kaniyong tanan. My name again was Joseph Chongbian, currently the Club Growth Director of District 75. When you say District 75, meaning Philippines. Toastmasters here in Philippines is called District 75, and my main role for this year is to open more and more clubs. Right? So this is my job to continue opening more clubs every year on year. Right? So mauna ang trabaho ta, mga ikog tabang ninyo. If ever San Jose would like to open your own club, let me know. I'd be very happy to assist. And just to add on what District Director Jazz mentioned earlier, so many clubs around the world. So if we just focus on District 75 or the Philippines, we have around 242 clubs to be exact here in the Philippines alone.
Sa'yo kay Miguel.
Stretch na siya from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, over 4,000 members. So if we talk about members, it's a combination of both corporate clubs and there are community clubs as well. When I say corporate clubs, these are exclusive clubs which is built exclusive for certain companies. But we have community clubs as well. Maybe a group of friends, maybe a group of different organizations. So that's something that we can build here in San Jose. So there are so many benefits that you can get out of Toastmasters, not just with communication and leadership skills as well. Anything else to add?
Yep, and thank you for sharing those details, CGD Jot. Just to add, aside from community and corporate clubs, we do have clubs for students. In Metro Manila, we have Toastmasters Club for students from the University Belt in Manila area. So within those clubs, we have students joining us and attending our meetings. And to tell you more about what's happening in Cebu, let's welcome our Division Director, Joy.
Yes, Joy. Oh, no, first, let's give our Program Quality Director also the same question. Ano ba talaga ang saysay ng buhay mo as PQD?
Yes, maayong hapon. I'm Nino and I'm from Davao. I'm the Program Quality Director for District 75 Toastmasters Philippines. And what happens in a club meeting? We practice public speaking. A club consists of like 20 to 30 people, and we talk not like really the classroom type that It's usually the teachers who does the talking, but in a Toastmasters meeting, we get the chance to practice public speaking because everyone will have the chance to really speak in every meeting. And a meeting can last up to 1 to 2 hours. So like they mentioned, there are corporate and community clubs that are open. And in Cebu, we have about 30 to 40 clubs that you can join. So it's also, well, it's your option to create your own club in your university, for example, and that would give you more opportunities for public speaking. And speaking of public speaking, as Toastmasters Philippines, we also give the opportunity to give or to send a contestant in the World Championship of Public Speaking. And that happened in the US for this year. And next year, we will be sending another contestant to the Bahamas. So I hope that maybe someday the next contestant will be coming from Cebu this time.
All right, thank you very much, Ninyo. As a student of San Jose before, I was really very fond of joining speech contest. In other words, kontesero ko sa speech, I would be joining oration contest, extemporaneous speaking contest, interpretive reading, murag tanan lang jud akong gipato. So my dream before was to be Orator of the Year. I only landed second place. And second place is actually one of my favorite places, even in Toastmasters. I've never been district champion. Talking about what you do after you're in school and when you are into your professional life is something that Joy here is very familiar with because she is with HR. So Joy, can you tell us the advantage of Toastmasters training even if you are a student or when you become a professional, when it comes to HR relations, when you apply for a job, what that benefit that do they get?
Well, in Toastmasters, you get to gain two important skills when you get to be a professional right after school or even in school. One is leadership and the other one is communication. So, in my opinion, when I was still in college, I really did not have the knack for speaking. I would always feel very nervous, and when I become very nervous, I don't get to relay my thoughts really clear to someone. But with Toastmasters, it allowed me, in the past 8-9 years that I've been a member, it allowed me to develop really and understand and appreciate the importance of the skill, which is communication. Because if you're able to relay your thoughts really well to the person that you're talking to, whether it be you're an HR, you're an engineer, or whatever profession you are in, the leadership skills come into play really because your communication skills, if you're able to hone that, it will elevate your level of influence as well. That's why here in Toastmasters, I've really appreciated the discipline and the education or the science behind how we get to foster that space wherein we get to develop ourselves safely.
So Joy, being in HR, would you say that a training in Toastmasters or membership in Toastmasters greatly helps them in the very important job interview?
Yes, definitely. Because in Toastmasters, we have segments in our meetings like what PQD Nino mentioned earlier. So in every meeting, we get to hone a specific skill, whether it be you impromptu speaking, doing impromptu speaking, that is, doing prepared speeches, or even giving feedback or evaluation. So if to Didi Boy's question about whether the training will help you in an interview, yes, definitely, because it's not just speaking that you are allowed to have that opportunity to develop that particular skill, but also your listening skills at the same time. So it's really very important, especially when you get to do a job interview.
Yeah, as I always say, greatest! Now, papunta tayo sa exciting part. Do you know, or I think you know, that our country is a beauty pageant country? And when it comes to beauty pageants, we always have the dreaded Q&A. Now, did you also know that Toastmasters in Cebu has been training the Miss Cebu contestants for more than 10 years in the Q&A? So, like Bea and the other previous queens, we have trained them in Miss Cebu. Many of them, like Jamie Harrell, for instance, who is Miss Earth, was trained under Toastmasters, and I had a personal session or a session with Jamie Herald during their stint as ambassador and ambassadors of Mega Cebu. Now, our next guest is a beauty queen. And you know, when it comes to extemporaneous speaking, or we call it table topics, there's always a question of what are you going to be talking when you answer a question, when you answer a specific question. So my question to our beauty queen of the past is this: Judy Gay, what is your name and why? So probably, Judy, you can tell us more about trainings in Q&A, and at the same time, what table topics is compared to extemporaneous speaking.
Maayong odto sa tanan. Thank you so much, PDD Boy Archie. Hello everyone, I'm Judy Care. I've been a member of Toastmasters for 9 years. So what is my name? Judy because I was born in December, so J for Jesus, and Gay because I'm happy and gay. Now here in Toastmasters, just to connect with what my fellow here, Toastmaster Joy Roman mentioned, that in job interviews after you graduate from and you earn your bachelor's degree, you will be asked series of questions, so it would help you improve your skills. So for example, we have part of our program in Toastmasters, we have table topics. What is table topics? So that is impromptu speaking. So in college, we learn how to answer, how to deliver extemporaneous speeches, but it's different when it comes to table topics or impromptu speaking. You will be able to share your story and your thoughts in just 2 minutes. So for example, as what Toastmaster Archie mentioned earlier, when it comes to beauty pageant, of course, you have to deliver a body, and opening a body and your conclusion. So here in Toastmasters, you will definitely learn that. And since I've been a member in Toastmasters for 9 years and I'm a frustrated beauty queen, we also have a legit beauty queen in our club from San Miguel Corporation Toastmasters Club, Miss Cebu 2009, Chris Stephanie Hanson, is of course a Toastmaster and
Miss Binibining International.
no, she's Miss Cebu and third place for Miss Intercontinental, which was held in Germany in 2015. So that's part of our training here in Toastmasters. So for example, if you will apply for a job, that's how you learn your answering interviews. And when you're already in the job, as for me, Toastmasters immensely helped me level up in my career, because during my job interviews, I added it in my resume that I'm a member of Toastmasters, and I've been asked, you're a member of Toastmasters, so you must be good in communication skills. So that's one of the factors why my employer hired me in the first place. And definitely that really adds color to your resume when you graduate and go seek job opportunities.
Yeah, thank you very much, Judy Gay. Now, it was mentioned earlier that Toastmasters is not just about communications, but moreover, it's also a training. There's also a training for leadership. So, distinguished Toastmasters, just tell them about the leadership programs of Toastmasters International.
Yes, definitely Toastmasters International program has helped me and thousands of Toastmasters develop their leadership skills. I can see coming from the students' Toastmasters clubs, they don't have the formal leadership roles yet. Like we have in the corporate world, we have managers, supervisors. So in Toastmasters clubs, you have club officer roles. You have the president, vice president for education, and a lot of secretary and sergeant at arms. So when you take on those club officer roles, that will be your practice in performing those roles, taking on responsibilities, and influencing other people, delegating tasks. Those are the skills that you learn when you take on club officer roles, because in the Toastmasters program, we learn by doing. It's not only through training, through seminars, or through sessions like this. You get to do the work, you get to experience the role, and in so doing, you get to develop the skills that you need. And I find those skills really valuable as I take on leadership roles in the company I work for, and I'm sure that in your organizations as students and when you eventually get jobs, those leadership skills will be very helpful.
Thank you, Jazz. I'll turn over the next question give the next question to Toastmaster Nino, having been a cabin crew of an airline in the Philippines. Now, do you think that, Toastmaster Nino, do you think that English is a prerequisite in Toastmasters, and in your line of work before in the airline industry, is it important that we really have good, impeccable English communication skills?
Definitely, Sir Boy, because when working, you have to really communicate effectively, not just fluently, because you have to listen to your clients or passengers for that matter, what they need, and you'll be able to provide them and really communicate yourself effectively, and also communicate what are your thoughts about the situation or the situation for that matter. So it is not only for your professional life but also for your personal life. Toastmasters is an investment of time, because learning how to communicate and leading also, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to build these skills. And personally, I was very shy before. I couldn't speak in this audience, this amount of audience. But now, I couldn't believe myself, and I am here speaking in front of you. And Toastmasters really changed my life personally and professionally.
Okay, Toastmaster Jot, the same question. You are a general manager of a known hotel here in Mactan. Is it also very important in your industry that your staff really speak good English? And also the other question is English the only medium as far as Toastmaster Club making is concerned?
You know what, Didi Boy, that's very funny, no? Especially working in a hotel. It's not about speaking really, really good English. It's about communicating well. It's basically what Director Nino mentioned earlier. Once you work in a hotel, you go in any hotel. Once you started to communicate, you will notice that most of our front desk staff speaks like this. Hello, would you like to check in? These are just very basic English. It's not about speaking really good English. It's just about communicating well. And this is what we learn here in Toastmasters. It's not an English class. You are not obliged to speak really good English. We train you to communicate well. You can speak Tagalog, you can speak Bisaya, because our only main goal here is to really deliver your message the most effective way as possible. So working in the hotel, you don't, in my job, like how I train our staff, it's not about, don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated. You don't have to speak really good English. What's really important is that you'll be able to communicate well. Don't forget, we talk to Japanese, Korean. We have to speak really carefully in order for us to give our instructions and message very effectively. So it's not about speaking really good English, it's communicating very effectively.
Toastmaster Joy, you would know, or we know, that Filipinos are very critical about the way we speak English, and we are known to be the number one, if not one of the countries that really speak good English as a second language. What do you say about people or Filipinos being very critical about Filipinos speaking English in not the very nice way?
My thoughts about it. Basically, what is really important to me is how the person is able to convey the message. Again, it's not really, to me personally, it's not really critical that you get to speak fluently in English. What matters really at the end of the day is how the person is able to convey effectively. It's really about the communication. It's not about how straight or good your pronunciation is, your enunciation or whatnot, or even your grammar. What's really important is that you get to convey and deliver the message to the person that you would want your message to be received or understood.
Toastmaster Judy, you mentioned earlier that you've been in Toastmasters for 9 years, and to me, it's quite a long time. Wala ka mapulihog attend of club meetings? And how many club meetings do you really attend now as a division director every week?
Yes, so far, wapa man ko napuli, since I've been a Toastmaster for 9 years. Several years ago, I remember when I was still working here in Cebu as an area director of Toastmasters in Division I, I've attended club meetings almost every day. So from Lapu-Lapu to Mandaue to Cebu City and even in the south of Cebu. And then I remember my former colleagues would ask me, Judy, wala ka kapuya after work? You will go and attend a Toastmasters meeting? And I always answer them, no. Toastmasters make me happy and it is my stress reliever. Mind you, because here in Toastmasters, it's always a different experience every time you attend a meeting. This is also where you learn to improve your communication skills. So in a Toastmasters meeting, the setup is usually we have a host, which we call the Toastmaster of the day. And there are different role takers. We have the person who will lead the invocation. We have a grammarian who will check your usage of the English language. And then, of course, we have the timer to help us, of course, improve our time management skills. We also have speeches. We have prepared speeches, so speakers will deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech. We also have impromptu speaking, or that is the table topics. So that is what normally happens in a Toastmasters meeting, and it's not a one-man show. Everybody in the club participates, and that's how you definitely improve and develop your, not just your communication, but your leadership skills in Toastmasters. And let me just add, also, this is part of growing your network. In my career in the real estate and sales industry, I've met a lot of people from different professions. We have lawyers, we have from the real estate industry, we have doctors, we have medical practitioners, we have bankers. We also have students. So definitely you get to expand and widen your network, and you will be able to, of course, meet a lot of people and definitely, yes, improve your skills with that.
Thank you, Judy. Before I ask my next question to our district director, I'd like to remind everybody that you are free to ask them any question under the sun, and just go to JJ over there. He has a microphone, and you can just raise your hand. He will give you the microphone. But before that, Toastmaster or District Director JJ, two things. Sorry. JJ is up there. Jazz. Twinning man good mo. So Toastmaster Jazz, they say in Toastmasters, DTM is not just distinguished Toastmasters, but don't time me. And Judy earlier said that we time our speeches. First question is, why is it important to time our speeches? Second is, you are now a global representative of Toastmasters, so you are Filipina. But what can you say also about other clubs that do not really have the good English capacity, speaking English capacity that we have in the Philippines? So, timing first.
Okay, thank you for your questions, PDD boy. So in Toastmasters, we develop time management skill. Our speeches are timed because when we go out and deliver speeches outside, we need to speak within the time allocation. In the Toastmasters meeting, you can see us having the time guides. We have time cards, the green, yellow, and red.
Timing lights.
The timing lights. So there, because the intent is for us to really be conscious, be mindful of our time, and develop that internal alarm or internal time management system. So that's very important. And that time management skill, of course, is not only important when we talk, right? It's also important in other activities when we have deadlines and in our work at school. So that time management skill is critical. And the next question is about...
Yes, Toastmasters in the global scheme, like various languages that Toastmasters cater to, and how do they do it? Like, for instance, is there Chinese? Is there Thai? Is there Singaporean, Japanese? Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, that's the beauty of the Toastmasters program. It's not only limited to English. Who among you here knows Korean language? Annyeonghaseyo. Or Japanese? Konnichiwa. So we have those languages in Toastmasters, even French, Spanish. So in the Philippines, of course, we have global companies. I'm part of Johnson & Johnson, and I work with different people from all around the globe. So it's important that I'm also familiar with their languages and their culture. And here with the online setup, with the pandemic, the Toastmasters program has opened up to online meetings, and what's happening is when you attend meetings, it's not only limited here in the Philippines. You can attend meetings with Toastmasters from Korea, from Japan, from the US. So you get to meet them, speak their language, or get to know more about their cultures. So it's borderless and it's limitless.
All right, thank you, Jazz. So at this point, do we have anybody who would want to ask a question or ask several questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Your name, sir?
What are the requirements to join the Toastmaster?
Requirements to becoming a member of Toastmasters.
Yes, yes.
So we have the Club Growth Director here who might probably be able to answer that.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. It's very basic. Anybody can join Toastmasters as long as you're 18 years old and above. That's it. And you can join any Toastmasters club here in Cebu. For your convenience...
Is there a membership fee or something?
Let's just put it this way. It really depends on how much you really want to invest in yourself. But just to be very basic, let's just say an average of 500 pesos a month. That's it.
All right, thank you very much.
So are you saying, Jot, that Toastmasters is a cheap training program?
I'm sorry?
Cheap training program.
I wouldn't say it's cheap. It's
Inexpensive.
value for your money. It's really
Correct.
value for your money.
That's the way to
Think
go.
about
That's,
it.
That's how you answer a quick question like the one that I did.
Don't call it cheap. Value for your money.
Yes.
500 pesos a month. Lifetime. Lifetime of learning.
Get you there. You're so wetty. All right.
And just
Yes,
to add,
yes,
the
please.
money doesn't go to us. It goes to Toastmasters International, because when you pay for that, you get the access to a wealth of Toastmasters International resources, the educational programs, and you learn more about that when you join. So we'll share more information definitely when you join.
Yes, Judy, you want to add something?
Yes, because our Club Growth Director Joseph here mentioned that it's a value for money, at least 400 to 500 pesos every month. So we love, some of us here love coffee, love milk tea. So imagine 1 cup of Starbucks cappuccino, that's already, let's say, 180 pesos. So just think of having 2 cups of coffee in a month, and that's already your investment in Toastmasters that no one can take away from you. It's developing your skills just by having 2 cups of coffee per month.
Eto na, Toastmaster ninyo over here is like jumping already for joy to really say something, but we're talking about clubs with different languages. Eto na, exciting part. Toastmaster ninyo, pwede mo bang sabihin at ilathala sa kanila na meron din tayong Filipino-based na club? Ano ang Tagalog? Ano ang Tagalog ng club? Toastmaster ninyo, say something about it, and then whatever you want to add.
Yes, because they mentioned there are a lot of languages being used in Toastmasters. We also have our very own Tagalog speaking club. It's called Pilipinas Toastmasters Club. They meet on Mondays. And speaking of schedule, there is actually a club meeting every hour worldwide. So as a member, if you become a member, you will have access to all these clubs, and you can attend a club meeting in UK, and the next hour you'll be in Sydney or the Philippines for that matter. But in the country, because most of the clubs now, because of pandemic, they have transitioned to online meetings, it's so convenient to attend a club anytime. So our learning opportunity as a member, as a Toastmaster, is unlimited.
Okay, thank you, Nino. We're wrapping up in the next 10 minutes because after this, there's a very exciting activity that Seaside SM City Cebu is going to be doing. And wait for that because I think there's going to be lavish prizes and surprises. So, anyone who's another question, please. Yes, sir. From Forward, my family.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So, you guys mentioned that it's not about Toastmasters is not just about how being fluent in English, but how we can communicate effectively regardless of what language you use. So in line with this, I would like to ask, what are your thoughts of the mockery of Asian accents that results to shame in our cultural identity, especially here in the Philippines, that we use English as a secondary language. So, thank you.
Very good question. Who would like to answer that? Anyone? Joy. Mockery of our accent as Asians using the English language. Because we have call centers here, but what?
Well, I just heard Pico Di Nino mention about having a supportive environment, and I think it would be a shame if the mockery really gets to persist. We have accents, and that represents our culture, and everyone should be able to respect that. If I were to relate it in Toastmasters, here in Toastmasters, we have a very inclusive environment. We do not, let's say, single out someone because of their background. Could be their accent, could be their race, could be where they're coming from. Because again, we are a very inclusive and supportive organization, really, to anyone who would like to, learn more about speaking. Because at the end, if you look at the organization, we have one cause, we have one goal. Two actually, and that is to be able to create very effective leaders and to be able to also produce effective communicators. So that is what binds us together, and I believe that what makes Toastmasters really inclusive and supportive as an organization.
All right. Any questions from our audience? Yes, you, Chair. And you, Chair, what is your question? Now, we mentioned something about timing our speeches, but I heard, I've not really heard it, but I've been there. They talk about an counter. Talk more about this. Who would want to? How about you, John? Yeah. What is and what is counter?
So in a Toastmasters meeting, when there are speakers, there's always an counter. A counter is the person who records all the filler words used by a speaker. So for example, so, and long pauses. So in a Toastmasters meeting, for example, Toastmaster Nino, you had 3 ahs for today. You have 5 long pauses. So that's where we learn in Toastmasters how to articulate well our thoughts. So instead of having long pauses or saying and at least we pause for a while, just for 1 to 2 seconds, then we proceed with our next thought or words. So in Toastmasters, in my experience, this is my very own experience, my listening skills become more active when I hear somebody say, for example, a host saying I become an counter right away. I usually count that person's and and filler words. So that's what we also learn in Toastmasters. That's part of our program.
All right, so we're down to our last 5 minutes, so we'd like to get some okay, our president, Attorney Jonathan Capanas.
Hi, good morning, good noon. May I ask, how do we organize a new club, especially a school-based club?
Very good question.
Perfect. Thank you so much for
the question. I hope the president is listening.
I know, no? Didi Boy, may I take this question?
Yes, please.
Attorney, we actually have 2 options. If you have students who are below 18 years old, we have an organization who we would really love to support, and we call it the Gavel Club. Or somehow, in our own term, we could call them Junior Toastmasters. Basically the same program, we develop their communication and leadership skills, right? So this is run by existing Toastmasters. But for members with 18 years old and above, all we have to do is to just gather at least 20 members. That's it, 20 members. And once we have that group, just let us know, because we'll be very happy to organize a demo meeting for you. What we're going to do is going to discuss to you the benefits of Toastmasters. Then after that, we will give you a demo meeting on how a normal Toastmasters meeting go. This demo meeting would last, attorney, around 45 minutes. That's it. We'll open it up for any questions that you may have. Then after that, we'll talk about the financials. It's that easy. Just start with 20 members, and that's it.
Before I give the mic to my co-board member
Sure.
there who's really wanting to really ask a question, Toastmaster Jot, we are not just looking at USJ-R as a potential club for students. How about the teachers, the faculty, the administration people? What can you say, Toastmaster?
Especially with the teachers, attorney, I would suggest they should be the core members or should be the officers. Students are going to be there. We're never going to know if they're going to stay, if they're going to be the part of the faculty soon. They'll be transferring to another school. So if we're going to open a club within your university, I suggest that the core members will be the teachers. Right? And we invite students, and they just really, maybe they can come, they can stay, even though if they graduate, even though if they stay, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. If you're going to make it exclusive to your university, that's fine. But if you're going to make it an open or a community club, that's perfect. I would recommend that as well. So that even though your students would graduate, they'd still be a member of your club.
At dahil dyan, may follow-up question ang aking co-board member na si Dr. Blanco over there. So what is your... Oh, okay.
Attorney.
Another question, please.
Do you have any ideal number of maximum members per club? Then the next question is it therefore possible to have one more club in a school?
I would love that, attorney. I will be very happy if you'll do that. You can have two, three, four, five clubs.
KRA.
But you know what, attorney? I'll be very honest with you. There are clubs here in Cebu who have over 50 or 51 clubs. But if you talk about ideal in a club, I would say 20 to 30 would be the maximum.
Why is that?
The reason for which is that an average in a month, a club meets about two or even 3 times a month. You can do 4 times, but an average it's 2 times a month. Right? It is in order for us to really have the rotation of roles within your club. If you have too much members, maybe you'll have members who won't be delivering their projects anymore or wouldn't be taking roles within your meeting. 30 members maximum would be ideal if you ask me.
So you can have 2 or more clubs.
And I would love the idea of attorney.
Okay.
30 clubs
Noted.
in San Jose. Let's start with that.
Yes,
I'd be
Dr.
very happy
Blanco.
to assist.
Dr. Blanco over here from the Department of Education.
Maayong udto. Now, I would like to check in the interest of inviting the audience, particularly, I am sure there are a lot of professionals, students in here, and I saw some from the Department of Education. Will there be an ideal, would say, club for us, for teachers or for non-teaching personnel that probably may align with the proximity of the venue or your offices? The meeting...
Oh, what you mean current clubs?
Yeah, the current
Okay.
clubs. Because we are actually located in Lahog. So if I may ask, what would be the suggested
Toastmaster
club
Joy, maybe you want to answer that?
that is near the venue or
Yes.
probably that might address our needs for the teachers? Thank you.
All right. We can keep in touch, sir. After this program, I'll approach you. But the quick answer to your question, the clubs, like here in Cebu, are clustered according to proximity. So we have clubs that are in Cebu. There are a couple or 3 of them that are based near IT Park. There are also some clubs who are based, some of them have meetings in Casino Espanyol. Others...
He's been there one time, twice.
Yes, so...
Dr. Blanco.
Yeah, so depending on your location, there will be a nearby club really here in Cebu City. Cebu City, Mandaue City, and also Lapu-Lapu because myself and Judy share clubs within this location. So there are clubs under her division and there are also clubs under my division.
And if you're from outside Cebu, we have Dumaguete clubs, we have Ormoc, we have Bacolod, Tacloban.
And Bohol.
Bohol.
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions? 1, 2 questions? If we have none, then maybe some parting words. 30 seconds each from our panelists here. 30 seconds.
So first of all, we'd like to thank you for joining us and making time for this. So PDD Boy and the group, thank you for having us. And I hope that you get to learn more about Toastmasters. And I'm so looking forward to seeing you in our next Toastmasters Club meeting.
So you will be back for sure.
Yes.
Toastmaster Nino.
Yes, Toastmasters is really an investment of time. I hope you will find the time to attend a club meeting and be a member, because in Toastmasters is the safest and the most fun way to learn how to communicate effectively and lead.
Toastmasters meeting attendance, if you are a guest, does not cost you anything, by the way. So you can join or you can be invited to any club meeting, and it is at no cost to you, and there's food. We actually eat also in Toastmasters meeting. Toastmaster Jot.
Thank you, Didi Boy. Yeah, there's food. Let me just reiterate what Director Judy mentioned earlier. My question now goes to you. I would like to ask everybody, how much would you like to invest in yourself? Right? Like what I mentioned earlier, if you want to join Toastmasters, it will only cost you an average of 500 pesos a month. That means 3 cups of coffee in Starbucks, or we call it in Starbs. Right? So you just don't drink 3 cups of coffee in a month, then you'll be able to invest in Toastmasters. We will definitely be able to help you improve in your communication and leadership skills. This is the perfect place to make mistakes. We won't judge you. We're all learning. All of us here are not experts. We're here, we stayed in Toastmasters because we want to continue learning, and we want to do this journey with you soon.
And from our San Miguel Toastmasters Club beauty queen, Judy Gay.
Yes, for Toastmasters, we provide a positive and friendly environment. So please do join us and develop and improve your leadership, your communication, and your confidence here in Toastmasters. So thank you so much for having us.
And finally, Toastmaster Joy.
Right, so if you really believe in your potential, if you would like to challenge yourself, and you do believe that you should be giving, a lot of focus on yourself as far as developing yourself is concerned, I would really encourage you, highly recommend that you join Toastmasters. Again, it's not just about communication, it's not about leadership, it's about the community. And when you get into Toastmasters, you will really experience it yourself. Thank you very much.
Very well said. So let's give it up again to our district officers and Toastmasters, District 75 Toastmasters International. Thank you very much, guys. And I'd like to have a photo opportunity with our Toastmaster officers here, with our president, our board members of the Alumni Club, Alumni Association Incorporated, Toastmaster Blanco. Please join us, Toastmaster Norman, and all the other Toastmaster board members who are here. Please join us on stage. And then our photographer, accent on the second syllable, please. Sige, kay i-kick out na ta sa SM City, kay mag-bingo na ba sila? Alright, okay. So please join our bingo, which follows in the next 30 seconds. O sige, exchange of cards na sila. Attorney, kung asan na imong kuhan, take out your mask first para makita imong kagwapo.